Last Minute Man, and we're back on the range. I'm with my good buddy, Mr. Obvious, and we are continuing our series on large game hunting rifles. And as you've been watching these in succession, it's been the 35 Whelen, the 338 Win Mag, the 300 Magnum, and now we're down to what I would consider the smallest caliber that I would feel confident in taking down an elk size game with. And what would that be, Mr. Obvious?
That'd be the big, wonderful 308.
Very versatile. It's a very versatile round. Again, my military experience, or my experience with them in the military, is that I love a 308. I felt very confident in my weapon system as 240 Bravo. Always felt safe when I had a 308. So when I came home, I said, you know what? I got to get me a 308. And this happened to be coming out after my last tour. And I believe it was the year it came out, 2012. Or it's the first I heard of it anyway. But I purchased this rifle immediately when I got out of the military. And I bought this scope with it. And I believe it debuted with this rifle. Leopold released these. And I got to tell you, I never have been a scope person. And one reason is exactly what happened with this. It broke. So the dial on it, it won't adjust at all. So I have to Kentucky windage it now and shoot about 4 inches to the right of where I want to hit. So I'm going to be replacing the scope soon. It was a cheap scope, even by the standards back then. And it just didn't hold up all these years later. But what do you got here, Mr. Obvious?
I have got a Savage Model 10 Police. It's a very, very accurate shooting gun.
Very.
Very.
I mean, all I can say is you look at it and it puts a smile on your face. This thing is sweet, sweet, sweet. I mean, you can just stack bullets all the day long. What I'm going to be using today to shoot through these, and the reason we've got two different ones here, is because with the other calibers, you're kind of, everything's a long barrel. Everything's, you know, 22-inch plus barrels. With a 308, you'll find things as short as these Scouts. And the claim that's made, and this is an 18.5-inch barrel, I believe, but the claim that's made is that a 308 is one of the least affected calibers by barrel length. So in other words, the barrel length doesn't have a lot to do with muzzle velocity. I've never tested that theory myself, but that is what is said on the internet. But we're going to find out today,
because we have a chronograph.
And that's why we brought these two rifles. You know, they're both shooting the same caliber bullet. I'm going to be using a 180 grain out of this. Reason being, a lot of the I believe it was American Rifleman did an article kind of doing the same comparison we're doing, and that really was the inspiration behind this. And the author of that said use a 180 grain bullet and you've got similar effectiveness to a 300 Win Mag. Now we'll find out. I can tell you, I don't have hand loaded 180 grain bullets. They're just Herder's 180 grain off the shelf, but we do have some hand-loaded 168 grain, and I think that's going to give us those two bullets are going to give us a good idea of what these calibers can do in different length barrels. But stick with us, and we'll get some shooting going. All right, so we're going to try to do this as scientifically as we can, being hillbillies from Kentucky. But what we're going to do is shoot two of the Herder's 180 grain bullets through my Ruger Gun Sight Scout. Then I'm going to do two of these 165 grain hand loads that Mr. Obvious brought. And then I'm going to do the same and repeat with the Savage Model 10, and we'll see how we do. But let's get on the chronograph.
We're going to record this and write it down so we can remember it.
Right, and we'll review the data.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. First shot.
Get my earplugs in.
Let me know when you got your ears in.
I'm good.
All right. That first shot was 2,358 feet per second.
2358. I got her written down.
All right. And now let's do our second shot. Same bullet. $2,387.
Okay, 2387.
So that's actually pretty darn slow for a 308.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a lot of felt recoil there with a 180 grain bullet, but not a lot of. It's kind of lackluster on the speed.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and switch to the 165 grain. See how she do.
You're gonna pick up a little speed now. You a little lighter bullet, so.
All right. That was 2490. So kind of light there. Let's see if this one duplicates that. $24.87. Let's see our results with the Savage. And all right, so we're going to put this to the test. Now we've got a much longer barrel with this Savage, and let's see what numbers we get on this. So we're back to the Herder's 180 grain bullet. All right, we're at 2580, and I'll note I did miss the target. So, all right.
That gun is zeroed in for a different round.
And I think you've got it 0 to 300 meters, don't you?
Yeah, it's zeroed in. Yeah, it's
Yeah, so
300 yards actually.
I'll aim low this time, see if I don't hit it. But here we go again. Herder's 180 grain. Let's see what we do. All right, got her that time. 2567. So it is moving.
Yeah.
A lot faster. I'd call that a lot. I don't know. It seems to be. But let's try these next ones. These are the 165 grain hand loads. $27.33. All right, here's another one. And $26.99. So let's crunch those numbers. We'll be right back to you. All right, last minute man, and we're back, and we're doing my favorite thing.
Yeah.
We're ciphering. Okay, so we'll see if my philosophy degree paid off. Thanks, Dad. But we're gonna crunch these numbers here, and what we got is on the Gunsight Scout, averaging our 180 grain bullets together, we got an average velocity of 2,372 feet per second. That was out of the Scout. Now out of the Savage, we had an average velocity on the 180 grain bullets of 2,573 feet per second, which is a difference of 201 feet per second.
Mm.
Now, that's not radical, but that's a lot.
That's a lot.
201 feet per second is, I mean, that's the difference between, you know, bone crushing and not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's, that's a huge difference.
You're shooting long range, that's a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, anything over 300 meters,
yeah,
that's going to be radical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's my opinion. So now we go into your hand loads, and those were 165 grain ballistic tip bullet, and we were averaging 2,488 feet per second out of the Gunsight Scout, and the same bullets out of the Savage, we got 2,716 feet per second, which gives us a difference of 228 feet per second.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's numbers don't lie, and you know, so when you hear that it's the least affected,
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, from what we saw, I'd call that pretty significant.
Yeah.
You know, that's getting your bull or not getting your bull.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, even like shooting Magnum caliber bullets, I think they say between 40 to 60 feet per second difference per inch of barrel.
Right.
So, you know,
So, I mean, that kind of
seems like it's working the same way for a 308.
is what it appears to me. Now, what you've got to consider when we're doing this review here, what we're considering is what caliber is currently used. I know an awful lot of elk are brought down with the 308. An awful lot of them are brought down with the 300 Win Mag, and an awful lot of them are brought down with the 338.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, your mileage may vary, but when you look at the data that's available online, guys really don't have an issue with the 308. Then some guys will tell you kind of what we're seeing here. Why would you carry something that weak, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think it's far from being weak, folks. I mean, this is a powerful round, but I would say that this is the smallest capable round for an elk. And in my opinion, I would probably carry either a 7mm mag or the 300. And that's my opinion. Now, that being said, I really like that 338 Browning he's got, and I may end up swindling that out of him at some point. We'll see what happens, but I might trade for it or something. You never know. But I really like it. But I like both these rifles. They both performed very well. I can say a scope does not help me a whole lot. Now, if I'm shooting anything over 300 meters, really out to 500, I'm capable with open sights. I wouldn't take an elk at 500. 300 meters would be my furthest shot with open sights. That's what I would feel comfortable with. But a scope, I haven't trained a lot with them. I have been getting better with the coaching of Mr. Obvious here, but I'm still an open sight kind of guy, and that's why I really like these forward mount scout scopes that give you a lot of eye relief. It's easier for a guy like me. But, you know, honestly, both these rifles shot well. And, you know, 308 is still my overall favorite caliber. I will say that, you know. But, you know, it's up to you. You know, what works best for you. Please let us know in the comments section below. Tell us what you think about this series. Tell us what else you'd like to see. I mean, we've got all kinds of firearms, okay? So we can show you guys a lot of neat stuff. And
we got a lot of friends. They got a lot of firearms. We can borrow whatever.
But yeah, this has been Last Minute Man with Mr. Obvious, reminding you, keep your knives sharp, keep your powder dry.
It's been fun. Subscribe to Last Minute Man.